We're back, everyone. Game week 9 is finished. We're going to be reviewing what happened over the weekend. Turn off your PlayStations, put the kids to sleep. You know the drill. This is unPUNDITRY. I'm Lucas, your host. With me, as always, is Stuart.
Hello.
Let's get straight into it. The first game was Newcastle against Chelsea. Chelsea winning 2-0. Chelsea were pretty dominant throughout the whole game, as we expected. They breaking through Newcastle's line multiple times. Timo Werner looks incredible. I think he's got 9 in 10. What do you want? What do you don't agree with me? What do you mean, mate? Come on. He's been great.
Okay.
He's been one. Okay. Anyway, I'm sure you have your own opinion on him. He's been looking really sharp. I think he was Chelsea's best player on the night. Newcastle weren't very positive. I think maybe that's the way Steve Bruce sets up. He set up with 5 at the back, or maybe they weren't positive because Chelsea were so good that they didn't allow them to be positive. Solid win for Chelsea. Timo Werner was my man of the match.
What even was that analysis? I'll start with my multi. I lost all the legs.
Yeah, so don't tell me about analysis when you lose all the legs.
I lost all the legs, mate. Okay, so I've gone draw. Lost that. Alain Saint-Maximin. Still being deployed as a striker. Wasn't up there with Callum Wilson, though. Tried to just nothing once again. Both teams score, yes. Lost that as well. However, Timo Werner, he has to be sure of himself. He's just... The potential's there, but he's just not making the chances from what I can see. It was a very boring game, either side. I think I watched the first 80 minutes of it and then probably fell asleep because there was absolutely nothing in that game. On to the next one.
Next one, Aston Villa versus Brighton. Brighton winning 2-1. I knew this would be an entertaining game, and it was. It was end to end. I think Ross Barkley, injury to him was pretty worrying for Villa. I think Bertrand Traore came on, and we both rate him, me and Stuart. We think he has the potential, but he's just not there yet. I think his decision-making lacks a little bit. I think he needs more game time to get settled in, get used to how Villa play. It's pretty quick. They like to play quick. Lamptey was great again. I think his value is just increasing game by game. He's a bit of a dime in the rough. The only thing that it's lacking is his final ball. I think he gets into great positions, but his final ball, his crossing is lacking a little bit. Yeah, good 3 points for Brighton. Some more points on the board, which is good because I like Brighton. Lamptey was my man of the match.
I had Aston Villa win. I had over 2.5 goals, which I won, and I had both teams to score, which I won as well. Really good for Brighton. Finally putting away some chances after countless chances created pretty much in every game that we've seen, especially as someone as Aston Villa. It just shows how inconsistent that they are. Barkley coming off within the 5th minute was pretty unlucky for them, but Bertrand Traore is man of the match, essentially. On the wing, pushing up high, crossing it into Watkins a few times. Outside of that, not much really to say. Maupay still looking really, really trash. He should have scored. Should have put one away really close to the goal. Trying to remember when it was last week, but not looking the same as what he was. Welbeck though scoring his first goal on debut, well not on debut, but scoring his first goal for the club. Really good from him.
In a while.
Yeah, really good from him. Only 29 years old as well. If he keeps playing the way he is, like he was at Arsenal a couple of years ago, 100% sky's the limit, I reckon, for him. On to the next one.
Next one, Spurs versus City. Spurs winning 2-0. We both picked the Spurs win in the pre-week show. It was a great win for Mourinho. Perhaps illustrating the potential power shift that is happening in North London. I think that could be confirmed once and for all with a trophy for Spurs, but I'm not sure how far they are away from getting a trophy. We'll see in the coming years. I'm really loving Harry Kane's role in that team. He's solid. He's a perfect target man. Like, he's untouchable at times. The way he drops in behind, picks up the ball with his back to goal, can turn a man and play those balls to Son, Mora, Ndombele, whoever he wants. He's excelling in that role. Also, I feel like KDB, when he's not firing for City, when KDB is not firing, neither are City. And Pep really needs to get out of the slump. He needs to change something up because obviously something's not working, something's not right. And Ndombele was my man of the match.
And Ndombele, he's really been playing well in that number 10 role. As you say, Harry Kane playing outstanding as well. I had him to score, so I had Tottenham win. I had Harry Kane to score, but it's one or the other with Son. It's just 50-50. And both teams to score. Rodrigo is pushing way too high. Way too high. That was one of the big things that I noticed. There's just not enough defensive cover anymore now that Fernandinho is out. And you can't really trust on... I can't remember who the back partnership was. I would assume it would be Laporte. Correct me if I'm wrong. Laporte and Diaz.
Yep.
With Cancelo pushing up the way he does, there's just not enough defensive cover anymore. And the cracks are showing. I mean, when KDB's not firing, as you say, they look nothing. Sterling wasn't firing either. There's just two players right there who should be quality, but they're just underperforming. On to the next game.
West Brom versus United. United winning 1-0. West Brom are going to get relegated this season. I think it's pretty clear. Whoever says otherwise is probably not thinking straight. But again, you know, the man of the match was the referee, I think, for United. Retaking a penalty, I understand. Fair enough that they scored that goal. But in my opinion, like, you know, I think the keeper should be allowed to be off the line. That's my opinion. Bruno, you know, did well. I think it was a pretty boring game, honestly. Again, Bruno showing his leadership, and it was enough for the 3 points to take the penalty. Sam Johnston, however, was really good in goals for West Brom. Saved them many, many times. He was my man of the match.
I had this was the West Brom to win. I had both teams to score, yes, and I had Anthony Martial to have one or more shots on target. In my thing, it should have been a draw. Honestly, you have West Brom disallowed a penalty that probably could have been a penalty. You have Bruno's one who had to be retaken, and then hardly the rest of the game there was no shots on anything. It was just once again a nothing game. Sam Johnson, yeah, but the United's front three of Martial, Rashford, and trying to remember the third one. Gosh, who's the? Never mind. They're not performing well enough. Cavani needs to come in there now, I reckon, on Saturday and start and actually become a presence, because Rashford's absolutely doing nothing. He scored 2 goals in 9 games or something like that. He's doing well in Champions League, but nothing seems to be clicking in the Premier League. On to the next one.
Fulham versus Everton. Everton winning 3-2. It was a great first half from Everton. Richarlison getting straight into the lineup, making a difference straight away. He was creating everything for Everton. DCL, another brace, increasing his goal output. Fulham improved the second half. However, their woes from the penalty spot did continue. I think Fulham should go to the groundsmen and before the game and ask them to get rid of the box in their forward half, because they should just be taking free kicks in the box and not penalties, because they obviously can't bloody take one. Like, it's not like they're missing or the keeper's saving. Like, it's horrible. Horrible. And, like, you know, then I feel bad for the next person that has to step up for Fulham, because that's going to be in his mind. Richarlison was my man of the match.
Won this multi. Very happy. Bit of a round of applause right there for me. Had the Everton win. This was kind of self-explanatory. Over 2.5 goals. I knew it was going to be a goal fest. Everton's backline, I think I said in the last episode, Everton's backline is just ridiculously bad, and then Fulham's backline is ridiculously bad. James Rodriguez had one or more shots on target, said that he would come out firing and playing really well. I think he assisted the assister on 2 of the goals, or 2 of the 3 of the goals. Digne had 2 assists. Yeah. Outside of Bruno, he's probably the best midfielder in the league currently at the moment. He's just so creative in what he does, especially like right wing. Iwobi really impressed me, playing at right wing back, pushing up really, really nicely, crossing a lot of balls. I'd have him as man of the match because he was unreal. But just goes to show with Richarlison coming back into the side just how more creative and how many more things that happen. Like 40 seconds they scored and pretty much was all Richarlison. On to the next one.
Next one, Sheffield versus West Ham. West Ham winning 1-0. Haller's goal, hammering it outside the box, was enough to get the 3 points for West Ham. I think he scored in the international break as well, which is great for his confidence. He's been lacking. West Ham fans have really been criticising him of his lack of output. Hopefully he can continue. I think it'd be good to watch. Sheffield, you know, they're playing better each week, but they're lacking that match winner in their side. They're lacking someone who can turn something out of nothing, who can create something out of nothing. And that's what they need. They need someone like that to give them a lift in these tight games. In saying that, though, I think West Ham could have had more, and Bowen was my man of the match.
Won this one as well. Nice little 7-cent return. Hello, hello. West Ham win. Sheffield's getting relegated. Both teams to score no. Sheffield can't score. West Ham are pretty good defensively from what they're seeing. Cresswell, rocket the defender. Balbuena's playing really well. And they seem Mazuaku and Kufal tracking back just helps them immensely because going forward, whipping in those balls to Haller, even for that aerial, just really helps. Oli McBurney had one more shot on target. It was a header. I said it was going to be a header. That's pretty much it. What will be interesting for West Ham is they change up their systems. You have how they play with Haller, and when you play Fornals, it's too slow. And then you got to play it with Antonio and counter-attack with Antonio because you got to find now Haller's playing a bit better, but a couple of the other players are dropping off a bit. So do you bring back Antonio? Do you put in Benrahma? There's a bit of a West Ham attacking thing that they've got to figure out. But the way that they play their system, it's either got to be Haller and Benrahma or Antonio and Fornals. I'm pretty sure that's it, yeah. Anyways, on to the next game.
Next time we've got Leeds versus the Woodwork. Arsenal. Sorry, Leeds versus Arsenal. 0-0. I think Arsenal were very, very lucky to get away with this one. I think Leeds dominated, especially they dominated the chances. Headlined also by a bit of a frustrated Pepe, headbutting his opponent. I feel like it was a red card. Didn't need to do that. I understand why. I'm sure you have more to say about it. They played Orba up front, but still, there's nothing really going forward for Arsenal. I feel like no matter who starts there, there's still no chemistry. There's no link up. Few stats. Aubameyang's first shot on target from open play since October 4th. Arsenal 1 goal in 5 games is a concern. And Leeds had 25 shots at goal, which is the third most in a game this season. They also have the second most shots on target in a game. Stuart Dallas was my man of the match.
When you have... Pepe's creative enough as he is, and he's pushing up and he's dribbling and everything like that, but he's losing the ball a few many times. Aubameyang has to play centre. He had enough game. You've got to move on to the next game and put it behind you, but still put him in the centre, but you definitely need more creativity in the side. You definitely can't just have Ceballos, and I can't remember who the other midfielder was. It wasn't Partey because he was injured. Being the creative thing, where's Ozil? It's honestly, this is what we just needed. You have Ozil, who's arguably the most creative centre attacking mid the past 5 years and not even registered. I had Arsenal to win. I had Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang, backed him to score. Didn't score, but I had Bamford 1 shot on target. Pretty much a nothing game. Calvin Phillips is back into the side, changes that whole Leeds midfield and how they play with him. Because he's great going attacking. He's awesome being box to box. Outside of that, really nothing. I really like Harrison at the moment. That's pretty much it from what I see. He's very decent on that left mid.
Yeah, he's really they've got a natural left foot. He's really good in that zone.
All right, next one.
Next one, Liverpool versus Leicester. Leicester winning 3-0. I think it's one of Liverpool's best performances this season. It's really reassuring that players can just slot into the system, do a job. I think Curtis Jones especially is a good example of that. He's 19, he's still young, but he gets into that side and he does a job. I think Arsenal definitely gave him a career last year. I think it was the 5-4 penalties game in the Cup. They scored the winner, and now everyone knows about him. But he is good. And Jota scoring again. He's the first Liverpool player ever to find the back of the net in his first 4 games at home. And I think Liverpool fans were a bit worried going into this, including myself. But looking back on it, Leicester's history and recent results against Liverpool in the last few seasons haven't been great. Liverpool have really dominated most of the games, especially last season when I think they won 4-0 at Leicester's ground. Leicester didn't really do too much. I wasn't too worried watching the game. James Milner, man of the match, he was outstanding.
Milner is on a different level. For someone who can just come into the side and just play that role and go to right back and fill in for someone like Trent, and then do it. And then he played.
Second half went into the midfield.
Yeah, and then play that. He knows he's not starting. I think he came out and said, "I know I'm not going to start, but I'll just play and do whatever I can and just play that absolutely unreal." I had a draw. I was going to this match thinking it was going to be something like 1-1, 2-2. Leicester's attacking so far and Liverpool's defence just made like perfect matchup, but it just goes to show how good Klopp's system is. in pretty much getting it done when you actually need to. Robertson pushing up a lot higher this game, which was very nice. Got an assist in he assisted the first goal. Going back to the old Liverpool roots, they haven't really been pushing up towards those win-backs of late, but he pushed up quite high, which was very nice to see. Jota, anytime goal scorer on that. He's looking very good, but when Salah comes back, does he keep his spot on the side? You could only keep scoring for so long, and Salah's been proven for 3-4 years now. And Vardy, anytime goal scorer, clean sheet, nothing much I can say. On to the next one.
Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Burnley winning 1-0. Burnley notched their first win of the season with an early strike from Chris Wood. It was going to be difficult for Palace, I feel, especially without Zaha. Palace did play well, but again, we spoke about it last week. Them being able to finish their dinner is a little bit difficult for them at the moment. They do play well, but yeah, I'd like to see Hodgson go. I'd like to see new management, a new direction with the club. I think it's a bit stale at the moment, a bit stagnant. Man of the match, Chris Wood just scored the match winner.
Crystal are so rubbish. Zaha lucky that he was diagnosed with COVID, otherwise I would be roasting him. Had won this one as well. Unreal. That's 3 this week. Whew. Burnley to win. Chris Wood, anytime goal scorer. God, I'm just a psychic on this one. Under 2.5 goals. Fair enough. What really impresses me is Burnley's defence now. I feel that they could stay up in the Premier League if they literally just keep a clean sheet. That's all they know. They're not going to be scoring that many. Rodriguez is average. Barnes isn't playing as well as he is. Wood's headering them in, which is fine, but it's like that partnership between Tarkowski and Ben Mee. Ben Mee's kept only 2 games this year. Ben Mee's only played 2 games this year, and both of them were clean sheets. Mee, Pope, and Tarkowski. If you can concede if you can keep not conceding, there'll be a couple of good opportunities there to steal some points, I reckon. On to the next one.
14 years and 347 days ago was the last time Theo Walcott scored for the Saints. And he did that this week again, stopping that timeline. 1-1, Wolves versus Southampton. Walcott's looking really good, deploying, I think, alongside Che Adams up the middle, which we haven't seen much of in his career, but he's really excelling. I think Jimenez for Wolves was too isolated again. He didn't get that. I think he got the least amount of touches for any player in this game. Then it's a shame Wolves are they're only assertive in the later stages of the game. They do have that, that strike force. They have good players in the front third, but they're just not utilising them to their advantage. I thought it would be 1-1, and I was right. So Theo Walcott, man of the match.
I had Southampton win. I didn't like Wolves at all coming into this game. Jimenez is looking stale. And I was right about that. However, Moutinho, in my opinion, was man of the match. He was unreal that second half. Wolves with his set pieces is phenomenal. He was the most creative guy there. And although he might not be playing every game, it just goes to show how instrumental he is in the side. He had a ripper game for Portugal, I said, in the pre-show. But the second half in this one, phenomenal. Adama played pretty well. Can't really complain about that. Lost the ball a few times, but just...
do you expect that from him?
Yeah, exactly. Under 2.5 goals, won that. I knew it wasn't going to be a goal fest. Danny Ings is instrumental in Southampton's attacking line, but Che Adams and Theo Walcott might actually keep him up and keep him in their unbeaten streak. I'm pretty sure they're still on 6 games or something now unbeaten until he gets back. I mean, Walcott scored. Che Adams is still playing really well up front, and I had Che Adams anytime goal scorer, but didn't get that. That's pretty much it.
Cool. That's it for Game Week 9. We'll see you in the pre-week show for Game Week 10.